What's up YouTube? My name is Mistic and welcome to Mistic Reacts. Today I'm watching a video by Fern. I don't know if I've watched any other videos on this channel, but I have watched a few of them on my own time and I really enjoy them. So if you want to see more of this, let me know down below. And this one is how an FBI agent infiltrated the KKK, which is surprising because I don't know how you infiltrate something certain parts of the government might be affiliated with, but I don't know when this happened, so maybe things were different back then, maybe, I don't know, but let's get into it. Yeah.
If there's any snitches in the group, we kill the snitches and they fire shots out of a gun, boom, boom, and everybody's kind of getting scared.
April 21, 2017. A group of men stand in a remote field in the middle of Alabama.
It was nighttime, and I am blindfolded. I've been
Okay, I do have captions on.
Instructed to place my right hand on the right shoulder of the person in front of me in line, because that signifies brotherhood.
The Brotherhood is the Ku Klux Klan, the United States' oldest, most notorious white supremacist hate group.
Right.
This is one of their ceremonies. What they don't know, one of them is an FBI undercover agent, and he's no lightweight. 6'4", 260 pounds, covered in tattoos. His nickname, Hillbilly Donnie Brasco. He's gone undercover as a gunshot killer, a contraband smuggler.
That's a very undercover nickname.
An arms dealer. He's put dozens of people behind bars, from drug dealers to violent motorcycle gangs to pedophiles. He's befriended and brought down biker gangs and neo-Nazis, people who are planning kidnappings, murders, and the overall downfall of society.
And when he was saying we're going on a camping trip, what he was saying is we're going to kill somebody. And everybody's screaming, death to your Jewish God, death to America. And then somebody says, if there's any snitches in the group.
They're anti-America? That's interesting. Okay. That's surprising.
We kill the snitches and they fire shots out of a gun. Boom, boom.
Okay.
We drove all the way over to his ranch in Tennessee, and he told us everything.
Okay.
This is the story of Scott Payne, the redneck-turned FBI agent who infiltrated America's underbelly.
Okay. That's a solid intro. I love their visuals so much. The Tales of Hillbilly Donnie Brasco.
The majority of this video is based on Scott Payne's book and podcast. Find the links in the description.
Okay. Chapter 1. Get behind me, Satan.
What I saw was a watery image. It was completely red, and there was a demon looking at me in that watery kind of ripple image with a grin and long crooked finger looking at me saying, "Come here," smiling.
Scott is 14 years old, and he's just seen a demon. The year before, his parents divorced, and Scott went down a dark path. Consulting spirits, watching diabolical horror movies, satanic rituals, deals with the devil. That's what brought him here, a friend's house, spending the night. They've had a small amount of alcohol, but no drugs. No hallucinogens.
I would do like these little vignettes where I would pretend I was being possessed by a demon or I was the devil or whatever.
I did that once at a psych ward, but it wasn't like a serious thing. It was fun.
On the couch, and I was doing this scene from a movie where somebody is like being possessed by a demon. And so I'm fighting in my voice, and then the demon voice comes in and there's this battle, and at the end the demon wins. And
okay, we weren't doing all that.
So that's what I act like happened. And I'm laughing like the demon, and I rolled over.
It all started as a mock demonic possession, but then he actually saw a demonic figure, and this was his breaking point.
So let's just say, after the demon scare, I got Jesus scared back into me, and that was it. Not that the devil was done with me, but I was done with him.
Okay. Jesus. Okay.
Halloween night 2019. This is Scott on his final major undercover mission.
I probably shouldn't get excited for 3 days.
It was stolen and is now at the center of a pagan ritual. It's been nearly 35 years.
Pagan stuff is completely different from whatever shit they're about to do. My aunt is a pagan, so I'm a little defensive.
Since Scott's first encounter with the devil, but on this night the devil is all around him.
It's
and he's definitely not done with Scott.
Stuff. It's
now we're all in a circle around the goat, Somehow I ended up at the back of it. I don't know how. It's bad luck on my part, I
What,
guess.
you
But I'm
get
holding the
kicked or
legs of the
something?
goat. He's got this blade, and he's bringing it up
Oh.
and bringing it down in a practice swing, practice swing, practice swing. And finally somebody says, just do it. Eisen comes down with every bit of force he's got and hits the back strap of the goat. And I don't even know if it broke a hair.
What?
I don't know if it's because the back strap's too thick, the blade was too dull, but he hit it,
Is that
and
like
all you heard the
the
goat was just
skin?
go, bah, and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna get bloody and bad real fast.
The man swings again. Again. Nothing.
How
Finally,
bad
the
is,
blade is
wait,
replaced with a
how
gun.
bad is the...
I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he's like, what? I'm
Whoa.
like, man, look at what you're shooting at. We're all in a circle around this thing. And then he looks, puts a round right in the head of the goat, and it hits the ground.
Does that not
So
defeat
you
the
think you're done?
purpose?
No,
of
you're
the
not
thing?
done.
If you're not doing
Now
it
they
ritual
slice the
way.
throat of the goat, and they fill up a cup full of blood.
One of them pulls out a sheet of LSD. He approaches each
Oh.
man one by one.
What?
Basically,
What is LSD? A sheet of it?
they would take the hit of acid under their tongue, chase it with the blood of the goat
Yeah.
to signify the sacrifice or solidify the sacrifice.
Ugh.
Scott is one of the few
Ugh. I can never taste animal blood. Ugh.
who decline.
No.
So when it gets around to me at the
My
end,
limit would be
I'm
human
looking
blood.
at the blood and it's already coagulated.
Yes.
It's all chunky and clotty, and I'm looking at it going, man, I really don't want to turn this up.
Ooh,
and
it's
drink it. I mean,
clotting.
this is disgusting. So I dipped my fingers deep into the blood, pulled them out, and then sucked all the blood off my fingers.
This is not the Ku Klux Klan.
And that's
This group
better
is
than
younger,
drinking
better
it?
equipped, and preparing for a bloodbath.
Huh?
And not only animal blood, but the blood of any human who isn't one of them. Jewish and black Americans,
Yeah, that's
and
a
anyone they
typical
consider traitors to the white race. They're by far the most dangerous group Scott will ever
nationalist
infiltrate.
thing to do.
Unfortunately for these tripping blood-drinking white supremacists, Scott Payne has other plans. It's
Okay.
exactly the kind of thing he spent the last 17 years working to prevent.
Okay, go Scott. Anything for
I became an
redneck.
FBI agent in 1998, and by 2002, I'd already done some undercovers for the FBI, but I wasn't yet
almost 20 years?
certified through the FBI undercover school. So I finally got a slot.
September 2002, Quantico, Virginia. This is the FBI Academy. If you make it through the year-long application process, if you pass the physical and psychological assessments,
I would
the
not.
tests, the polygraphs, the interviews, the background checks,
Ooh.
if you make it through all that,
Were polygraphs still seen as good back then? Because they definitely are now. I could never
end up
do one
here
of these things.
in a 20-week training program. If you get through the 20 weeks, you become an FBI agent. Scott's been here before. Now he's back, about to
So it's
start
like
the training program
8
for undercover
months?
agents. Getting admission to the program is hard enough. Graduating is even harder. Only about
I
half the admittees make it
imagine.
through.
It's a 2-week school with no days off. We're very big on sleep deprivation. You're going through multiple scenarios of all shapes and sizes. And it's
Sick
only
guitar,
20
though.
slots for the class.
Others break down. They make missteps during the high-pressure scenarios. They grow
Right.
delirious and erratic from the lack of sleep. But Scott thrives. The sleep deprivation, the relentless roleplay, the grueling exercise. If anything, he feeds on it. Meanwhile,
you
he's learning from his
thrive?
idols, legendary FBI agents like Joe Pistone, who spent
Who?
6 years undercover with the Bun No Crime family.
Never
But they
heard
don't
of.
always notice him.
So I remember Joe Pistone coming to speak, and I was like a kid in the candy store, man. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Donnie Brasco. This dude did 6 years undercover in the mafia, and he's teaching, but he has this thing where he keeps kind of wanting to walk right up to the desk. So he kept stepping on my feet, and I was trying to get out of his way. And then finally, as he's teaching, he just looks down at me and he says, Jesus, kid, either you got the biggest feet I've ever seen, or I can't see. And he throws a couple of bucks on the desk because he's like still in mafia mode. He throws a couple, he goes, hey, go get yourself a shine on me. And I just took my feet and shoved them under the seat, man.
Under the,
Joe Pistone may have scuffed up Scott's shoes. What neither of them could have known at the time is that Scott would go on to fill Joe's. The FBI Academy trains agents to take down bad actors. More and more of these criminals operate online. Scammers, identity thieves, fraudsters, the list goes on.
in
Such criminals rely on your
2002?
personal data, your name, your phone number, your email
this
address,
is an ad.
sometimes even health-related information. Most people aren't aware that their data has already been exposed and is
Yeah,
actively being
okay.
sold by data brokers online. Incognito 100% removal.
There's the
So
thing.
be careful with what you share online.
Yeah.
So once I was certified as an undercover in the FBI, if you're looking on paper, I really didn't jump out.
Scott
Is
doesn't
it-
have a fancy degree. He doesn't
Is that not what you want? Because don't you want to not look like an undercover cop or undercover FBI agent. So isn't that what you want?
Speak any foreign languages. His nickname is Big Country, for obvious reasons. So he begins to work as an instructor at the school he just graduated from. Unorthodox, but it got him noticed by the right people.
I'm role-playing in these scenarios, and people that are there who are senior undercovers are watching because they're trying to recruit for other cases. And that's how my name started getting out there.
So after months, there's finally a possible assignment, one that Scott is perfect for. Sure, he's a redneck with almost no foreign language skills, not suitable for many undercovers, but he has something most other agents don't. He doesn't need to pretend to be a hard-living misfit. He is one. He knows he'll feel at home where he's about to go, but he has no idea how close he'll grow to the criminals he's been assigned to infiltrate and how hard it will be to turn on them.
Really?
People always have their own opinion of what undercover work is. Some people say it's acting, some people say it's lying. But essentially, this is the definition of undercover work. You are building relationships that you're going to betray.
Okay. I mean, I don't think if someone I knew did something I considered bad, I would not feel bad turning on them. Even if they were family, I would not feel 1 ounce bad about it. They did something like genuinely horrible. So that's interesting that you actually have feelings for these people who you know going into it are bad. That's interesting. Operation
Scott is on a mission, and his targets, these men, have just arrived. They're members of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, the main rivals of the Hells Angels. They've been implicated in drug trafficking, prostitution rings, money laundering, the list goes on. And they're notorious for violence against rival gangs. Infiltrating them is exceedingly difficult. Scott Payne is here to do just that. But there's a problem. Part of the intelligence Scott was given is wrong. He was told they wouldn't be wearing their colors. Obviously they are.
How would they know that?
Scott has hoped to strike up a casual conversation, letting the topic of motorcycles arise naturally. But these guys are
Hey fellas, you ride much? I'm a little new to it. You think you could teach me a thing or two? Y'all in a gang?
advertising their gang affiliation. He can't just go up and say, hey, you guys ride. His only choice is to make them come to him. Luckily, another part of the intelligence is right. This guy, road named Spanky, loves to be the center of attention.
How do you get that
steals it.
name?
He works the crowd. He tells jokes. He talks loudly. He draws attention to himself, making Spanky want to steal it back. Soon enough, Spanky asks where Scott is from and sends him a drink.
Spanky's called me over. He's introducing me to other people. And, of course, I'm getting more scrutiny. The more people I meet, the more scrutinized I am.
Everything seems to be going well, but the real scrutiny happens somewhere else.
So I walk into the bathroom, and as
How big is your
I'm
cock?
at the urinal, in a lot of bars, there's like a little box in front of the urinal, plexiglass. It might be flyers for a band coming up or a stripper coming to town or something like that. So I can see a little bit of a reflection. And I see this jacked, big dude come walking in. And I see him looking at each stall, and he's like, okay, that's empty. I see him looking under the stalls to make sure nobody's in there. And I'm watching this from a reflection. And then he comes walking up right beside me, and for a split second, I thought, oh, I'm getting jumped. I'm getting jacked right here. And that didn't happen. He says, so what brings you to Massachusetts?
All undercover FBI agents have a legend, a detailed made-up backstory that they have to commit to memory. He's from deep South Texas, up in Massachusetts for work. He loves Harleys and whiskey, and his name is Scott Calloway. As it so happens, the guy grilling him in the bathroom is also named Scott. Scott Town.
A lot of undercovers, you bond with people, especially deep undercover long-term, but there's never been another person I bonded with closer than Scott Town.
Is it
For a year and a half, Scott gets to know the outlaws. He drinks with them, rides with them, fights alongside them. He gains their trust. He becomes their friend. They call him
like exempt from crimes you do during that time? I would imagine you have to. There's probably a limit, right, to what you can do.
Scott's legend may be a lie, but the friendships are real.
Real creative.
Scott Town becomes like a brother.
He likes to drink, I like to drink. He likes to fight, I like to fight. He likes to ride and lift, I like to ride and lift. We completed each other's sentences. We were just kind of cut from the same cloth.
They even both have a daughter who's the exact same age. Scott Town is kind of a doppelganger, the person Scott Payne might have become had he not gone into law enforcement. Another gang member, Brian De La Vaga, aka Clothesline, also becomes a close friend of Scott's.
He said, and these guys are my brothers, and I grew up
I'm gonna hang you out to dry.
Around them. He said, but I really don't have that many friends. Somebody that I know would take a bullet for me, and that I would take a bullet for. And in my mind, I'm looking at his face and I'm going, oh, no, man, don't say it. And he looks at me and says, "You're one of those guys."
Tomorrow is the big day. Over the course of last year, Scott has convinced the outlaws that he's a high-ranking member of an international theft ring. They begin running jobs together.
Oh, that's convenient.
They begin small, with insurance fraud and vehicle trafficking.
If they
An
ran
outlaw
into
reports a
him.
motorcycle as stolen. He then files an insurance claim, while Scott sells the motorcycle across the border.
Okay.
A double win. Money from the insurance company, money from the sale. They do this again and again, with motorcycles and other vehicles. But tomorrow's job is different. Some of the outlaws will be serving as security during a major drug deal, a gig arranged by Scott himself. He's revealed that he has connections with a Mexican drug cartel. No surprise, considering his line of work and his proximity to the Mexican border.
Surprising?
The stakes are high.
I
If they
think
get
it
caught,
would be
they'll be looking at
surprising.
serious jail time. And if something goes wrong during the deal, the bullets will start flying. So when Scott is told to meet the outlaws at their clubhouse, he's not surprised.
06.
They probably want to go over the plan one last time. Scott arrives. The place is familiar. He's been here countless times. He knows what's behind every door in the building, except one. Clothesline leads him to that very door.
That's her
Now he realizes
dungeon.
that something is wrong. Scott is told to strip. They need to check him for a wire.
Because of the stress of this happening,
Now they
I
know.
forget my middle name. I'm having an adrenaline dump.
Why
And for
would you
anybody
need to
who's
know
ever
your
had it,
middle
it can
name
be
for
any
this?
traumatic experience, but I'm having auditory exclusion. So what I hear sounds like I'm underwater. It's going whoosh, whoosh. So it's
I've
slow.
never
I
heard of
need you to
that.
take all your clothes off. It's slowing down.
Take your
I'm getting
clothes
time
off.
dilation in my eyes. Everything I see is in screen grabs. Click, click, click. I can feel my heart beating through my entire body. My hamstrings get rubbery. Now, Clothesline has instructed me to take all my clothes off. Here's what I'll tell you. If I'm not wired, it's just an embarrassing moment. I'm naked in a small crawl space with two guys with pistols.
Oof.
Problem is,
Okay.
I'm wired to the hilt.
But they don't find anything. Scott's recording equipment is not taped to his chest, but in his clothing.
So my adrenaline starts
Like just in his
settling,
pocket?
and I'm starting to come back to normal,
That feels
and I think
dangerous.
I'm done. And I get my pants back up. I don't know if I have my boots on yet or not. And then Clothesline grabs a piece of clothing that I was wearing. And that piece of clothing
I mean, I know he
has a
survives,
recording
but
device in it. And I'm watching him, and he starts grabbing the clothing, and he's going through it nice and slow with his fingers. And I don't realize I do it, but there's an audible sigh. You can hear me go, because I don't even know. I don't even know I'm doing it. And he looks right at it and misses it.
Really?
And I'll live to fight another day. I'll live to
That
fight
feels
another day.
convenient. Okay.
Two moving trucks enter the parking lot of the Brockton Holiday Inn. One is filled with drugs. The other is filled with money.
Just
A
at an
Mexican drug
inn?
cartel is selling 40 kilograms of cocaine and 1,000 pounds of marijuana to Canadian buyers.
Huh?
The Mexicans aren't taking any risks. They've arranged an American security detail,
1,000
the Outlaws.
pounds of marijuana.
Surveillance at every entrance. 4 men in the parking lot
Jesus.
there to provide protection, unload the drugs, and count the money. Everyone is armed and antsy. One false move and all hell could break loose. The deal is wrapped up quickly.
Why is it such a public place? Like that feels dangerous to do in like just a random inn and not like, I don't know, in the middle of the woods. I guess because the trucks are so big, maybe.
The transfer is
But
complete.
damn.
All the money's there. The Outlaws are particularly relieved. They may be tough, but this is their first time working with a cartel. Now they'll get paid
Really?
$15,000 for their services.
How do they get the
Scott
connections?
counts out the cash.
then?
He did it. He successfully tricked them. The cartel? FBI agents.
Huh?
The Canadians? Also FBI agents.
Damn.
8 months later, a hotel in Nevada. Scott's been laying low, coordinating his undercovers from afar. His outlaw friends think he's going through a divorce. In reality, he's been diagnosed as overassigned after experiencing a severe stress-related panic attack. He's been ordered to take a 6-month timeout.
Okay.
He's been teaching during this time. His current class, ironically enough, is called Undercover Stressors. All the
Shouldn't you
students have gone
not
to
work?
bed,
if
but
you're
Scott's only just
overstressed?
returned to his hotel room. It's early 4 or 5 a.m. The drug deal back in November gave the FBI all the evidence necessary to arrest and imprison multiple outlaw members, but the
Okay.
operation has continued. Until today, the day of the takedown. Scott doesn't think he'll hear from any of them again, but then his phone rings. It's Scott Town, and he's concerned. He's heard some arrests were made, and he wanted his friend to know about it. He says he's going to take a shower and gather more information. They'll report back.
And the last words we spoke to each other were, he said, "I love you, brother." And I said, "I love you too." And that was the last words I spoke to him. And probably about 45 minutes after that, a SWAT team hit his house and he went to jail.
Damn.
In the end, 15 outlaws were arrested as a result of Operation Roadkill. One of them was sentenced to 21 years in prison.
Okay.
Clothesline got 12.5 years. Scott Town, 7.
Oh, I would not be risking my life for anything less than a 10-year sentence on the people I'm betraying. Because 7 years is enough time to, build up some resentment without your health declining too much, so you could still go after someone and bang bang. I would not do anything for less than like 10 years in jail, guarantee. Like, they gotta hate that dude now. Oh god.
The outlaws never saw their friend Scott Calloway again.
For now. Chapter 4.
The Ku Klux
Operation
Klan
Smoking
emerged in the
Gun.
wake of the American Civil War.
What is that?
From the very beginning, they were racist to the core, raining terror and death on
Little
black
obvious.
Americans. In the late 19th century, they flogged, tortured, and lynched politically active black men, raped their wives, shot their children, and burned their schools. Historians consider them to be America's first terrorist movement.
Right?
Today, the KKK remains active, but only as a shadow of its former self. Fewer members, less influence. However,
I feel like they kind of went to other things. Because they're still, if anything, the hatred's coming back, unfortunately.
burning crosses is still one of their favorite things to do, and they've
Really? I figured, like, they're ultra religious. Because I know my family, not me, is very close to that mentality that group has, and they are ultra Christian
stayed true to
conservative.
their roots. Naturally, as a terrorist organization, they have to act in secrecy. You might
Right.
assume that infiltrating them as an FBI agent is not
Are they that secret? Because didn't, like, they endorse Trump or something very publicly? That doesn't feel very secret.
the easiest feat.
So you may ask yourself, how do you contact the United Klans of America? Well,
I'm gonna go to the South and ask around. Because I've heard of some people around me.
it turns out the
I
group
know
I was
people.
looking at had a hotline.
Scott starts talking to a guy named John Jack, a Klansman who's passionate
What? Clan 1-800?
for
1-800?
Jack Daniels
Dash
earned him this
Clan?
nickname. Scott tells him he's got the number from a group of bikers he met at a gas station. It's a plausible story.
Is
Scott
it?
looks the part, and his time with the outlaws taught him how to play it. Biker gangs and white supremacists often run in the same circles. Jack
Okay.
starts talking
I
about
mean,
this
yeah, they
rally that's
do.
coming up. Vendors, burning crosses, country music, the usual. But there's a problem.
He says, I'm not going to lie to you, Scott. I had a band lined up, but the singer just got locked up, and I really don't know what the hell I'm going to do about music. And I thought, this could be my end. And I said, did I happen to mention that I'm a musician and a singer? I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll bring my acoustic and my PA system. When I get there, you can come meet me by the car. I'll strum a couple of tunes for you if you think I suck. And he's like, oh, hell, this is going to be great. It's going to be great.
I
Scott
wonder if he
doesn't know
took
that he
a
just signed up for
music
something
career
far more
after
sinister.
this.
April 21st, 2017 is
2017.
the day of the Ku Klux Klan rally.
Then
I
we
got
passed
lost multiple
smears.
times until I finally drove up on this.
That was like a 10-year break, at least in terms of the timeline. Okay.
I don't know, lot fenced in the middle of nowhere, but it wasn't hard to spot because the Nighthawks, which would be the Klan members in all black, who were the security force, are all standing
Never
at the
heard
gate
those.
with guns. And a lot of these people were felons.
Scott's ready for an interesting time.
I mean, yeah, no
He's been
shit,
to
they're
plenty of biker
felons.
gatherings, and perhaps this will be similar. During his mission, Scott will be taught the KKK's constitution and bylaws, studying the Black Klansman Handbook, which he'll learn to refer to as the Kloran. He'll become familiar with the original Mystic insignia of the Klansmen. He'll learn this all in class with a K, so that he can pass the K-Uno test, a prerequisite to getting fitted for a robe. K-Uno stands for character, honor, duty.
Can they
It's getting
spell?
dark, and he's been invited to
Character, honor,
participate in a
duty. None
naturalization
of that
ceremony.
spells K-Uno.
Ceremony.
They're not very
He
smart,
has no idea what this
obviously.
means, but all the newbies are doing it. He'd stick out if he
Okay.
didn't. And that's how he finds himself in the middle of a field, blindfolded,
Okay, the
holding
intro.
the shoulder of the man in front of him, a gesture meant to signify brotherhood. They are told to raise their right hands and repeat an oath.
I do swear from this moment forward
And then they tell us to get down on our knees.
to fostering the welfare of the white race,
So I'm on my knees, blindfolded,
and furthered the work of America's greatest movement.
They take my blindfold off, and there's a Ku Klux Klan member in a green robe, and he has this sword, and he kind of knights me.
The United Klans of America.
And then we all hug, and there's like a little bit of a celebration, and I'm not sure what
Yay,
happened.
we did it!
And then it hits me as I'm walking to my truck. I'm like, I think I just joined the damn Klan. Yep, that's what that was. So I got
What about the
naturalized in the
music?
Ku Klux Klan that night.
Did you
Scott's time
perform
at the
music
KKK
there?
will end up being relatively short-lived. The case isn't really going anywhere. And there's another group can begin to focus, a far more
Probably
dangerous one.
because people around them are in it, so they don't really want to bring that down.
In the FBI, we started encountering more violent type extremism, not the KKK types. We're talking
2017?
advanced neo-Nazism.
Wonder we
And
got
it led me
into power
to
then.
an accelerationist group called the Base.
The base mission will
They
provide
look
to be far more
familiar,
extreme than anything
like
Scott
the
has ever seen.
outfits.
The network of violent white supremacists.
An extremist group known as The Base.
Violent neo-Nazi terror.
Are they still active? I feel like I've seen a photo of them
Paramilitary
somewhere
group called the Base.
in my state. Wait, like a few years ago.
On August 11th, 2017, crowds of people marched through the campus of the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, chanting racist and anti-Semitic slogans. They were protesting the removal of a statue of Robert E. Lee, the famous Confederate general. The next day, they were met by counter-protesters, and things quickly turned violent. Then they turned deadly. A white supremacist drove his car into a crowd of counter-protesters, injuring 35 people and killing Heather Heyer. For some, the Unite the Right rally was a wake-up call, surprising proof that white supremacy persists in America. To
Not
others,
that
it was a grim
surprising.
reminder, and frightening evidence that white supremacists were feeling emboldened enough to come out of the shadows.
Wonder
The first
why.
accelerationist group emerged in 2015. They called themselves Atomwaffen Division. They'd been inspired by the writings of the neo-Nazi James Mason, whose book Siege had become a sort of Bible for accelerationists. The book denies the Holocaust and attacks homosexuals and Jewish people.
Of course
It also
does.
calls for organized violence, specifically for the formation of terror cells prepared to wage war against the system. Initially regarded as fringe or even cringe, accelerationism by 2021, roughly 90% of white nationalist groups identified as accelerationist. That same year, the
I don't
U.S.
know what
Director
that
of
is.
National Intelligence identified racially motivated violent extremists as the most lethal domestic terrorists.
Bigger than Islamic extremists post 9/11. Yeah, no shit. Okay, no shit.
Threat. More than other
Obviously.
white supremacist ideologies, accelerationism insists on the importance of direct violent action.
'Cause we're
kind of
the
action
only
taken by the
enemy
people
after
they call
that.
saints. Like Saint Tarrant, for Brendan Tarrant, the Australian white supremacist who attacked 2 mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand. He killed 51 people. Or Saint Roof, for Dylan Roof, who killed 9 people, all black, during a church service in Charleston, South Carolina. This is the kind of action
I
accelerationists
hope
believe
they
in.
killed
Action that will
themselves
further destabilize
afterwards.
society, that might finally lead to societal chaos. They are explicit about this. Roof, for example, said he'd hoped to ignite a race war. Failing that, though, the purpose is to inspire more violence, which is exactly what such attacks have done. Scott Payne just signed up on Facebook.
2019.
He's about to publish another racist post. His goal is to get banned, but nothing
Why?
happens. A fellow agent points out that he doesn't have any friends. He adds a few people, and that does it. He's promptly kicked off. Okay, well done.
So you can be
Next up is
racist
Gap,
if no
a
one
social
knows.
networking site well known for its tolerant stance towards far-right users. He participates in forums with names like Whites Only. This will further elevate his credentials. On July 15th, 2019,
was
he writes an
getting
email. I've been seeing your
banned
stuff, and I'm
necessary.
definitely interested. Survival and self-defense. I like it. The next day, a ping.
Thanks for contacting the base.
That's
You can
casual.
learn more about us on our official Gab account at the base. If you're interested in joining, please provide the following info to begin the vetting process.
The
That
base is a
feels so
white supremacist
casual.
neo-Nazi group. They were just founded a year ago, and they are accelerationists through
80
and through.
followers.
Their plan entails assassinations, sabotage, and acts of terrorism. Their targets are black people, Jewish people, and anyone they consider traitors to the white race.
As one
They want to do
does.
guerrilla warfare tactics, so it's murdering people and disappearing. It's poisoning a water system, taking down a power grid, derailing the train, anything to cause chaos.
Why?
The idea is that after the collapse, the group's cells scattered across the world will form white ethno-states led by white supremacists. This event, total societal collapse, has a special name, the Boogaloo. Now, Scott is trying to join them. They ask for his name, White Warrior 88, and his age,
Not his
44.
real name?
Scott Payne is actually 48, but he knows most base members are between 18 and 25. He wants to seem as young as possible. Sex, race,
How do
location,
you
military
go
experience,
that wrong
fitness
at
level, special
18?
training, and organization affiliations. Here, his past undercover experiences pay off. He mentions the Klan and biker gangs.
So
Wouldn't you not want to mention the biker gang? Because, like, everyone there got arrested? Or would it not be obvious that he caused them to do that? Or I guess it was, what, 10 years after the fact? Okay, I guess maybe it's not really known anymore.
Approximately for a week or more, I'm emailing back and forth to somebody with a Proton email account. And they're asking me all kinds of questions about my ethnicity, what I can bring to the table,
are you white
what's
enough?
my history. And I laid out a story that I was a old biker, shocker, and a former skinhead from South Carolina.
Okay.
As Scott would find out later, the owner of that email account was none other than the founder of the base himself. Online, he's known
Does
as
he
Norman
have
Spear
a South Carolina accent? I
and
feel like
Roman Wolf. He's
Southern
been on the
accents
public's
you
radar
can
since
tell.
2018, but his true identity is unknown. That is, unless you're in the FBI. Ronaldo Nazaro is 45, American, born in New Jersey. He'd worked as a contractor in Iraq for the Department of Justice. Now he's in Russia, but it's 2019. You can organize neo-Nazis into a network of accelerationist insurgents from just about anywhere. The email exchange continues for less than a week. Then Scott is invited for a phone interview. It's supposed to take 30 minutes, but ends up lasting an hour. Now both Scott and the base have a 24-hour grace.
How is a random Nazi group like more communicative than like all of my job applications? How does that happen?
Period.
I
After
can't
that,
even get
Scott
a
will
call
need to make a
back.
decision. Does he truly want to
What
join?
a story.
I passed the test and they bring me in and they asked me, hey, where are you located? And I said in East Tennessee. And they said the closest cell to you is in North Georgia.
That's where Scott will have to pass one final test, an in-person vetting session. August 2, 2019,
And they really
Rome, Georgia.
do all the
To Scott,
steps.
the men look more like boys. He knows that one of them is the leader of the base's Rome cell, but that's it.
Yeah,
They
they
tell him
look
to step out of his
young,
truck. Scott isn't wearing a wire. He knows they'll check.
right?
But hidden in his truck is a tracking device, put there by his case team. As long as Scott is near his truck, his team will be able to find him.
I step out, shake hands or whatever. And he says, hey, I need you to put your phone in airplane mode. And I said, okay. He pulls out this wand thing that I'd never seen before. It looked like a Geiger counter. It had a big triangle card in it, lights all over it. He wands me, and I pass because I'm fine, I don't have anything. Then he starts wanding my truck. No big deal. Until he starts going to the back driver's side of my truck, which is where the case team placed my tracker.
Right.
That thing he's holding in his hand starts going crazy. The closer he gets to the back of the truck,
They didn't
it
account
starts
for that?
beeping. I see colors going on it. I'm like, oh no, man, it's picking up the tracker.
Scott braces for a fight. He's alone. His team knows where he is, but they have no idea something is wrong. But he gets lucky. The other guy wonders if the device is picking up the power lines.
And he walks over and it goes crazy. And he's like, damn it, yeah, whatever he says. Yeah, it's the power lines. Hey, follow us to another location.
Scott has to act fast.
I feel like sometimes it's hard to trust like CIA, FBI stories because it's like, is it a little exaggerated? Is it a little thing? Because I know there's like a CIA agent video that people have been watching, and I'm just like, he's probably lying about a few things, or just some very obvious no shit stuff. If you're interested in me watching that video, let me know.
He has to get the tracker deactivated.
And I'm calling the case team and I'm like, hey, you need to shut that tracker off.
Where are they at?
Hey, follow us to another location.
Follow us. So he's behind them. So can they not see him on the phone? Because like, if he was in front of them somehow, they couldn't really see that. But like when you're in front of someone, you can see broadly, at the very least, a phone up to their ear. And your phone's supposed to be on airplane mode, so I feel like they'd be like, what are you doing?
Scott has to act fast. He has to get the tracker deactivated.
And I'm calling the case team and I'm like, hey, you need to shut that tracker off.
Didn't pick up.
And at first they're like, well, we can't shut it off. And I'm like, you have to shut it off. And they're like, well, if we shut it off, we're not sure. What if we can't get it back on and we lose you?
What if you lose him if you don't
turn
turn it off?
Whatever they have is picking up the tracker. If you don't shut it off, this is going to be a very fast undercover because it's going to be over as soon as we get to where we're going.
They arrive at an abandoned concrete plant.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is great.
A
How many movies have I
concrete
seen where somebody's
plant?
killed in an abandoned concrete plant? I hope they got the tracker off. They pull out the wand, they wand me, and I passed.
They
Scott
did
is
that
in.
quick.
By this point, Scott's been around the block, the outlaws, the Ku Klux Klan, but nothing could prepare him for what comes next.
Okay.
Scott has been with the base for over 2
2019.
months now. As a boy, he loved camping with his parents and friends. He'd explore the woods, go fishing. But
I
the camping trip
hated
he's just been invited to
nature.
isn't like the ones he used to go on. The list of things to bring contains some unusual items. Weapons, ammunition, and the same kind of camouflage. Fleck tarn, worn by the German military. This is no ordinary camping trip. This is a hate camp, an extended training session to prepare members for the Boogaloo. Hand-to-hand combat,
Okay.
weapons drills, grappling. By now, Scott has attended a number of similar training sessions, but this one is different. It's longer, 3 to 4 days, and it's bigger, with base
Is it
members coming in
that-
from around the country.
Is 2 to
Texas,
3 days
Alabama,
longer?
Michigan, Delaware. He's familiar with many of the men he'll be camping with. At least he knows most of their online pseudonyms. Can't
Okay.
Go Back, Ison, Punish Snake, Dima, Big Siege, Zoomnat. All from out of state. And of course he knows his fellow Georgia cell members, Helter Skelter and Pestilence, who vetted Scott back in August with the cell leader himself.
How do you go so
militant
wrong
Buddhist.
that young?
Everyone knows Scott by his code name, Pale Horse.
Like he's the
When you're an undercover agent,
oldest
some
one.
cliches are true. Scott has learned to expect the unexpected, yet he fails to expect what would happen at the Halloween hate camp.
I wake up to pounding on my window. Pale horse, you gotta wake up, you gotta wake up. I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on? They're like, hey, you gotta get out here and see this. I've been doing undercover since 1996 at this point. And I've never been with a group of people where I had to burn Bibles, burn American flags. I damn sure wasn't part of a group
Wow, the horror of burning a flag and paper. The horror.
that went out and stole a
You
goat
joined the
and we
KKK.
sacrificed it at a pagan ritual and drank its blood. And I did all that in
That's not a pagan ritual. It's a cult
3 days
ritual.
with these guys.
After they decapitated the goat, the group comes together for a barbecue. They roast the goat over an open fire and have it for dinner.
Yummy.
All of this, of course, while tripping balls. It's impossible to know what blossomed in their brains that night, what hallucinatory horrors they saw. If their drug-fueled fantasies were anything like their sober ones, then they dreamed of
Probably.
death and destruction, of
Yeah.
killing black Americans, Jews, anti-fascists, and communists, of the Boogaloo. Scott has become upsettingly familiar with these fantasies and with the beliefs that produce them. Behind each pseudonym is a young man, and within each young man is a darkness. The militant Buddhist's real name is Luke Lane. If the Boogaloo requires it, he says he could kill his dad. Pestilence is
Why?
Jacob Cotterly. He believes Hitler is still alive. Michael Helter
Ain't that motherfucker die a long time ago? Like, even if you believe he faked his death and ran away to whatever fucking country that was, I forget. Natural causes would still have killed him.
Brand, aka Helter Skelter, says he'd have no problem killing a commie kid. Punish Snake, a former Canadian soldier who'd been doxxed by an undercover journalist, gets emotional talking about it, but he knows he'll have to kill his ex-fiancée when the Boogaloo kicks off. She's half black. Scott Payne records all of this,
I feel like I'm at a fucking Thanksgiving dinner. Holy shit.
and as he earns their trust, he records more.
And we did more and more trainings through that Saturday, but by that Saturday night, we went back down to the holy site and had a bonfire. And that's where the American flags were burned. That's where holy Bibles were set on fire. And everybody's screaming, death to your, F your Jewish God, death to America.
I'm surprised they're
And
not like
when that training camp
Christians
ended, that's
and
when I
nationalists.
advanced even more in them trusting me. And that's when
Interesting.
TMB and Pestilence started bringing me in on murder plots that they had.
Huh?
It's more than 2 months later, and Scott is back at TMB's farm, the 100-acre property where the Halloween hate camp took place. For the last few weeks, TMB has been talking about another camping trip, but he's been cagey. He doesn't want to share information via chat. Scott has convinced him to meet. He wants details. It turns out the camping trip isn't a camping trip. It's a hit job.
TMB creates
Just
a separate
casual
chat room
things.
called the camping trip. And when he was saying we're going on a camping trip, what he was saying is we're going to kill somebody.
Their target is an active Antifa couple in the Georgia area.
It was going to be me, TMB, Pestilence, and Helter
I
Skelter.
mean, I hope
And
most people
we
are.
were all
I
going to
hope
make entry
most
into the
people are
house.
Antifa.
TMB wanted me to go with him to kill everybody, while Helter Skelter would be covering out the window to make sure no cops were coming and stuff like that, or help.
Are they
And
gonna
then
go
Pestilence
through
was going to
with
set the
that?
house on fire. But in the
There's
planning
no
of
way,
everything,
right?
at one point, Helter Skelter says, hey, if you don't mind, I'd like to pop my cherry on this one. That confused me because it means something completely different to me. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he said, I would like to actually put a bullet in somebody's head as well.
After casing the house, they begin the next phase of the murder plot, planning.
It was pretty extensive. Like, you go to a camping site, we leave everything digital, everything phones, everything there. We go scrub ourselves at a pay-by-the-hour motel. We tape our pants to our shoes,
Those exist
our
in
gloves
the
to our
States?
shirts, Vaseline on eyebrows and facial hair. See, this is all to avoid
The
leaving
fuck?
DNA for law enforcement. At one point, TMB had done research, and he said that he read that the first time somebody kills somebody, they lose control of their bowels. So he was suggesting that we all wear adult diapers. I didn't tell him that I'd killed somebody before, but I told him I think I'm okay. I don't need any diapers.
Wait, what? Did he has he actually killed someone? Like for undercover shit? Or just like in general? Or was that like a storyline for this mission that he had killed someone? That's an interesting thing to casually drop.
I was just as shocked when I got brought in on this murder plot as most people were. But while this is going on, the Baltimore cell, which is Can't Go Back and Eisen and Punish Snake, are planning to go to this Second Amendment gun rights rally in Virginia that they thought was going to be the kickoff of the
2020.
Boogaloo and the D-Day, the race war. Their idea was they knew you're going to have a bunch of Second Amendment people there, militias, 3%ers, you're going to have cops, you're going to have protesters. What if you pop a couple of rounds into that crowd, nobody know who's shooting at who, and everybody starts shooting each other? That could be the set-off.
Scott and his team know they have to stop him, and there's no time to lose. The Pro Firearms Rally is on January 20th, 2020, just a few months away.
Is that the
They
same
jump
year
into
as
action. The next weeks are a
January
flurry of activity,
6th?
meeting, coordinating, and
Or was
planning.
that 2024?
Finally, the day of the bust arrives.
It's a Wednesday,
I forget.
and I'm in Rome, Georgia. I pick up Luke, who's TMB, to go to lunch, and we pull out.
Just some
And as I'm
lunch.
driving down the road, I knew what my ruse was going to be. I was going to say something was wrong with the truck, but sure as you know what, the truck made some loud sound I've never heard. I didn't hit anything. Something just went, and I was like, did you hear that?
Why would they not just like tamper with the car themselves to make something happen, I guess?
He's like, yeah, and I go, man, if my brake calipers are frozen again, I'm going to be, because that did happen. So I took a left out of his neighborhood, pre-planned by the SWAT team, and I pull up tight to a fence. And as I go, hey, I'm going to get out and check the truck. So I'm walking around the back of the truck. Another vehicle pulls up. He doesn't know who they are. I know who they are. They're part of the case team. And the guy says, hey, man, you need any help with that? And I look up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's you. What are you doing in Rome, Georgia? He goes, what are you doing here? I'm like, man, I haven't seen you. And as I'm doing that, there's the distraction. Here comes a Bearcat with a SWAT team over the hill, barreling down the hill. But Luke's looking at me, not at the car coming. And when that thing's coming, I jump in the back of the agent's truck and I'm like, go, go, go. And you could hear the SWAT team giving commands. And luckily, the arrest went down without an incident.
The next morning, SWAT teams arrested Eisen, Can't Go Back, and Punish Snake.
Okay.
Essentially, we kind of tore down.
They better
the
get
base.
20 years.
Luke Lane, aka TMB, was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Jacob Cotterly.
That motherfucker's gonna kill someone when he gets out. He'll be, what, in his 20s? Like, wasn't he the one that was 18?
Pestilence got 13. William Bilbro, Eisen, 5.
What? That is insane. 5 years for...
Patrick Matthews, Punish Snake, and Brian Lemley, Can't Go Back, 9 years. According to a recent Guardian article, the base is enjoying a resurgence. Its founder,
no shit.
Ronaldo Nazzaro, continues to live in St. Petersburg.
I would not
Scott
risk
retired in
my
June
life
2021.
for
At his retirement
5
ceremony, attended by
years.
friends, family, colleagues, and top FBI brass, June 30th was named Scott Payne Day.
Oh. Because you know those dudes are out for vengeance when they get out. Ay, ay, ay. That's the end. Let me know if I should watch more Fern, but wow. Intense. Also, I accidentally paused my recording like halfway through, so if you saw the cut, that's why. I started it again immediately, but yeah. So, yeah. Until next time, bye.